Speaking and reading are different in many ways. When we do online language exchange with language partners, usually I use AI since 2023. I made the reference and then study with the language partners, reading and repeat or communicate with the text. It's very useful and very effective to expand knowledge, but there is something missing point and weak point. It's a weak point is uh, the reason why we study the foreign language is to communicate with the uh, native speakers or the people in local place. Then mostly when we communicate with uh, other people, we use the spoken languages more than 90% speaking and listening, and that is our communication. But when we study foreign languages, and then unfortunately we are usually study with the reading, and it means we study with the foreign language text. Text is not speaking. Text is have no sound. That is mostly important part, especially like Vietnamese, and then the Vietnamese is typically the pronunciation is very difficult, like Chinese, because they have tones, 6 tones. And then I realized after studying about 16 months, then my pronunciation is not good. When I speak using the voice typing in Google document, then my pronunciation is not correct. So, and even though I use AI, the help of AI, I can make content that is good, because since I started learning foreign language by doing online language exchange, and then the AI remarkably have been improved in many ways. So, and then now I know how I can use AI properly. So, and then I can make content that is successful in the doing online language exchange with the language program, expand my knowledge. This is good. And I build my vocabulary by reading subtitles while I'm watching the YouTube videos. That is very important. And so here you go. And then today I'm talking about speaking and reading. It means text. Speaking and text are very different in many ways. So if we want to communicate with other people, we should learn spoken-based online language exchange, and then in doing online language exchange, after speaking, we can make a report with AI. Also, we can use the AI to get a report, and then good way to that. I also made a timetable for the language exchange, and then I made about the speaking session. Actually, the reading session I've been doing 16 months, so it's very easy to make a reference and read and some having a conversation or making stories and then talking about it, summarize it. It's very easy. That is a typical session in school. We have been many experiences in uh, same Korean language or English or other languages. We do study vocabulary. We are learning about the grammar, the pattern of grammar, pattern of sentence, and we learn about the conversation and stories and about something like the practice. This is a typical way. But even though we studied like that with the text or reading based studying. Then after we studying for many years, for many hours, and then the result is not good because after studying many years, and then the result is not good because we don't study not the spoken based. And then what is different from the speaking and text reading? So, and then speaking is naturally, if we are immersed in speaking session, and then it doesn't matter we are intelligent or not, just we communicate, repeat, and then same word, and then we have a confidence in speaking and listening a little bit, and then we can communicate with the in terms of the specific way. For example, we are our life, for example, greeting and buying something or asking something or like it's 5W1H or talking about numbers. This is the basic one. And then we are repeat. And then by doing that and with the help of the language partners, and then with the help of the language partners, we can do that. We can improve our speaking skills by doing online language exchange. It's very simple way to understand about that. Now I can Now I can emphasize on the speaking session in doing online language exchange with my language partners because I would like to improve my speaking skill and my pronunciation rapidly. And text is a little bit academic or intelligence because we should know about that while we're reading, and then the reading speed is very fast. So, and then if we read with the speed of 500 words a minute, and then it means if we study, we read 1 hour, and then 60 minutes, 500, it means 30,000 words uh, read. That among them, and maybe more than 10,000 words are used in the book or about that. And then it means, and then we should know about many words. And then it's not like the communication. It's like intelligence because if we read 10 books and we should know maybe and then the 50,000 words. And so do we know about the words? And it takes a long time to know about it. But when we study with the reading or text part, and then we can expand rapidly our knowledge, vocabulary, building vocabulary, because we already know about that kind of words in our native languages. So it's my suggestion to study communication, and then we focus on spoken-based doing online language exchange. If we do academic and or the business and then something, then we need to expand the knowledge in the language. We also the reading-based doing online language exchange also recommendable. So, and there's something many ways. So now and then I made a problem about this doing online language exchange about spoken based doing online language exchanges. And using AI, using AI then and make reports, summary about what we studied. This is a good way. Okay, then okay, yeah. Now I can get with my spoken writing, speech writing, voice writing. Yeah, with my voice writing. then I can get a help of AI. I can get a content this copy, go there. Yeah. Here is a proofread and organized version of your content title. Spoken-based language exchange, why speaking matter more than reading. The problem, speaking and reading are very different. When we do online language exchange, especially with a language partner, we often rely too much on reading. Since 2023, I've been using AI tools to study language, reading text and repeating them and communicating through written language messages. This is useful for building vocabulary and grammar knowledge, but there is something missing. The primary reason we learn a foreign language is to communicate, to speak and listen to real people, especially native speaker or local. In real life conversations, more than 90% of communication is spoken, not written. But in language learning, we often study through reading only. That's a big disconnect. Reading doesn't teach you sound. Reading is silence, especially for language like Vietnamese, where pronunciation is difficult due to six tones like Chinese, and learning through text alone is enough. After 16 months of studying Vietnamese, I realized my pronunciation was still weak. And then even though I had learned and written a lot, I used the voice typing with Google Docs to practice, and even with the AI tool helping me, my speaking didn't improve as quickly as my reading. Why speaking-based study is more effective? Language is just about knowledge. Language is not just about knowledge, it's about communication. Speaking-based practice activate a different part of the brain. When you are in a speaking session, it doesn't matter how smart you are forced to use the language in your time. Even with limited vocabulary, we can communicate about daily life, the buying something, asking for directions, talking about numbers, and sharing feeling. This is the functional language we're using, and it's what language is truly for. How I use speaking session in online language exchange. In my programs, we emphasize speaking over reading, and here's how we make it work. Each partner suggests two speaking topics. One is shared before the session for preparation. One is given during the session for spontaneous speaking. If a topic doesn't feel light, the learner can request a new topic. After speaking, we each write a short report to summarize what we talked about. We use voice typing tools like Google Docs to save time. And we might also record a session if the platform allows for reflection or sharing privately or publicly. This format helps us to build the speaking fluency, reviewing what we've said and improve the pronunciation over time. Why reading still matters, but it's different. Reading is faster and more academic. A fluent reader can read 500 words per minute, meaning in 1 hour they read 30,000 words. This helps with vocabulary, especially high level or academic language. If you are preparing for business, meeting, academic, writing, or formal exam, reading-based learning is also necessary, but for everyday communication, speaking is key. Final thoughts. Spoken-based language exchange is essential for real-life communication, while reading is helpful knowledge building. We must actively train our speaking skills through regular sessions. That's why I created a spoken-based language exchange program, and I am now sharing this model to help others benefit too. Okay.